Alright, BGFH back again, and for our continuing tour of this big old Minecraft spawn area thing.
Yes, because the temple came first as just the middle of a swamp, some little form I was experimenting with and grew into epic proportions. It never started that way. It just expanded and grew and took over.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you mention the spiral in the middle here?
No, I didn't actually. I didn't do that. Actually, if let me fly up, because then you can get a little better view of
The spiral.
the spiral itself. You can actually kind of see. So yeah, it starts out at the spawn, just goes all the way around. I don't. I think my other problem is I don't have the patience
Yes,
to
patience is
figure out,
necessary.
like, I mean, I can do shapes, I can do improvised patterns, and I'm getting better at that, but, like, just going, okay, I'm gonna build this crazy, like, mathematical octagonal funnel thing, or dome, or sphere, or I don't have the patience to, like, figure out how to make it exact, and I just kind of run with what works.
Didn't have the patience to figure it out exact. I looked it up or experimented. Like
Well, fair enough.
the octagons was, I wonder how it'd make equilateral octagons and the proper spacings. Did an experiment off on the side and found it was kind of making some cool efforts. So they started building a form in the middle of a swamp, and that form started building up into a little tower, which became a big tower, which then became a, well, let's build some nature preserve around the tower, and well, let's build walls up around the nature preserve, and what needs a roof? And pretty soon I have the jungle temple, and well, I have this giant jungle temple. I can't have a dinky little spawn building. That wouldn't be proper. You need a big spawn building to go with the big jungle temple.
Well, and I remember we always joking about, like, I had this big old tower city that I was building. I think you had originally. I should remember how that started. Didn't you, when you were playing with the map editing tools, didn't you hollow that out and then I decided to make a city in there?
Yes, that you had asked for a hollowed out space to make a city in the second revision of the server.
Yeah, but then it was like, so I started doing this big Towerville, and then you're like, no, you can't have a big thing. I must make it bigger, right
I did
next to
not.
it.
No, no. It used to be swamp right outside your little village area here, and it was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm just gonna build this little experiment just to kind of, swamp. You can't do crap with swamp because it's a layer of water, and it's like, yeah. And then it started growing and became massive and
Mm-hmm.
tall. It always starts so simple, so little idea,
Right.
an experiment that grows out of
Right. Where are
proportion.
you? Oh, okay. Jeez. I turn around. Okay, there you are.
Ah,
So why don't we head in here first? This is your little. This is something I was thinking about doing. I wasn't really gonna do it with mossy cobblestone, but I was actually gonna do it with like a whole bunch of leaves. But this is a cool
I tried
iteration
these at
of it.
first, but I was going with the octagon shape, kind of an extension of the jungle temple
Mm-hmm.
experimental phase.
Yeah, but I
I
mean,
was
I
like,
like this as kind of like some catacombs or kind of thing. It's sort of a hedge maze, but to me, it kind of seems like more of a.
it's a labyrinth
Yeah,
because it has a defined path that you follow. There is no diversions, just little offshoots that you could sit on.
right.
So it's classified as a labyrinth, not a maze.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still got that one area on the other side of my village that one of these decades I maybe will try to do something with like a hedge maze or something out there.
See, that was the thing is I was trying octagons and interconnecting octagons and thinking, oh, that could make a cool maze, and it kind of worked and it kind of didn't.
Right.
So we got this in the end.
Right, yeah. Okay. And so now we head into. I'm gonna head back out to the front of it so we can kind of.
See the whole front of
Yeah,
the.
come in from the front because I really like the way the front of this ended up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we got through there. So that's just another kind of side way to get in. So originally we came in over here, but
Yep.
instead of going through there, we could just head over the right here. And I really kind of like the look of the hedge. Just the whole. I think it looks pretty good with like the.
Landscaping.
Well, you got the landscaping, but not just that. But you've got like, just the stone used and the wood and just everything
Yep.
has a nice.
It also had kind of an Asian feel about the style of the
Yeah,
building.
I was just gonna say you had mentioned that you kind of like a Asian Oriental kind of.
Mm-hmm. where you had like fences for windows, where it's
Look
the
to
air
it.
will still blow through, but
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of where the red columns came in, and the wooden beamed roof like that.
Yeah, I remember when you first started building this. I was actually down in Texas for that NFB convention last year, and you had started building this thing, and then you sent me a picture. I had checked it on my phone when I was in the hotel. I'm like, oh man, that looks so cool. You kind of had this screenshot of sort of where I am, like right about now,
Yep,
or
right about
somewhere.
where that piece of glowstone under your feet is.
Yeah, and so it's like I looked at that and I'm like, I really like that wood kind of, that pattern with the wood and the
Torches.
red pillars and the leaves on top and stuff. I'm like, I want to look at that for real, but I can't play Minecraft. I can't play it on my phone. Damn it, I gotta wait a week. Um,
Yes, all of this stuff always starts as a simple little, tiny little project that it's never as big as it ends up being. So that's one of those things that like, no, just because I build huge, don't think you have to start huge. Just start with a small little building, an
mm-hmm,
outhouse, or
mm-hmm,
a little fort, and start expanding it and embellishing it.
mm-hmm. So we're not really gonna go up into there yet in this video. I'm
No,
just
but you can
gonna,
walk around the exterior.
yeah, I'll walk around at least a little bit of it here.
Mhm.
This used to be the spawn point when we were doing our original 2 revisions of our server.
Yes, this was part of the original first revision spawn building that was migrated to the second one
Yep,
and
yep.
updated, and then migrated to the third one, but just offset of we wanted to keep it around. And
Mm-hmm. I mean,
it's
I,
in the
I
middle of
was
updating it right now, so that's kind of why there's blocks missing.
right. Well, yeah, and the one thing I did want to point out that I do like, just that what one of the original things was that those lava fountains in each corner.
Yep, the beginnings of lava
Yeah,
fixation.
that and the well, yeah. Well, hey, the first step to dealing with something is admitting you have a problem.
Well, if you go up to the top floor of this and just kind of ignore everything between that, you can actually see the original fountain that got it all started.
Yeah, I was gonna comment on like where was the
Well, the stairs are all there. I haven't finished updating it. They're kind of
okay.
haphazard.
So we got the library kind of
Yep.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
this was
The
this was
update
the
I'm
fountain
actually
that I thought was really cool. I always loved this.
Yeah, and the update I'm going to do is just basically expanding out by one block. Same everything, just editing to an up
Okay.
instead of an even.
Yeah, so and you got these nice wooden fences here, but if we
Mm.
go up one more and you can kind of get so you get this fire border kind of around the middle, or you can walk around up here and look out. So like I said before, we didn't have near the huge structures in the old 2 versions of the server that we do now.
Yes, this is one of the original
So
structures.
this was one of the big things. Was like, hey, we can look out and look at our other things. Now it's like, okay, this is pretty tiny.
I
Cool.
miss Mount Creeper though.
Oh
Used to,
God, we
right
gotta.
behind this thing was Mount Creeper.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh man, you should import that. I don't know where we'd.
I
Wonder
could
where.
just build another one.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think what would be a good spot. Because I mean, like I said, it's so densely crowded over here already.
Uh
But
huh.
we should put a Mount Creeper somewhere because that was
Yeah,
pretty
because it
sweet.
was right behind this was this huge cliff face, and it was like hey, I'm gonna build a creeper face, a cliff face, and like, oh well, it's a
See,
mob
come on.
faces.
Right.
Mount Creeper with glowing glowstone
Yeah, that you
eyes.
could walk behind. And I cannot fly today. God, just getting it lined up right.
Yes.
So yeah, normally this wasn't covered originally, and you could.
Well, it was covered, but you'd land on the roof one place or another.
Hmm. Well,
And
no, but originally we didn't have this up here, and you would just spawn, and you just fall down,
oh yeah.
and then you would end up in the fountain.
Well, that was if you were lucky. If you didn't, you'd land somewhere on this rooftop.
Wee.
And this rooftop's a little harder to climb than it used to be.
Yeah.
But you used to land somewhere on top of it, then you could fall down through the hole, and you'd splash here, and
Yeah. I just thought that was a cool thing. You just land in the fountain.
yep.
I
And the
always
fountain's
liked
going to remain
that.
the same as I update it. It's just going to expand by one block.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my next project, is updating this.
Right.
We also used to have a mod that, we could have auto-fill these chests with materials.
Oh God, before creative mode, that's the other thing, is that a lot of, well, the project that we're going to wrap up in this video, um, is a good example, but like when I was doing my tours of my places, all that older stuff, like right now, if we had to do this not in creative mode, oh my god. The amount, like, to do those temples that we were in
Yeah, because your
already,
castle, that
or,
spawn building, and the project we're about to look at were all original projects from the first iteration of the server.
well, right, but what I'm kind of getting at is that, like, you look at the structures that we've looked at already and just how huge they are. The amount of resources, if we didn't create that in creative mode, we would still be,
Yes,
oh
we had
man.
pseudo creative because we had unlimited resources being operators, but it's still you had to dig it
Oh.
out yourself. That was the thing is you had to dig out the space yourself.
Oh
The
yeah,
tools.
yeah. Well, and even I think for like I would say the first half half or so of building my castle, we didn't have that, and I really did harvest all the resources. So that's why I had that cave with just like row after row after row of chests.
Yes, yes.
So now we got this command block here, new edition, which will kind of teleport us to your little new project.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Whoa. Okay, you kind of jumped in front of me there.
And then we landed in the exact same
Yeah. So talk about this. This is fucking crazy. Building this before you had creative mode. I mean, I'm just thinking not only the resources it would take, but then in just like I said, even planning to build a perfect circle, sphere, and everything. So you got this ginormous lava ball here.
software. Went and found software that gave me the layouts for proper positions to make the sphere, but originally it started out as a little fort, just this little kind of sandstone fort, and the remnant of it is still in the very center of the thing here.
Okay.
You come all the way to the center here, and I'll just drop down that hole. Yep, that hole right there in the floor. That's the last remnant of the original product.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember seeing this in some iteration way back when.
Yep.
That was when we had, man, there's a few things about the old server that I really do kind of miss just because of how cool they were and how we actually had to really take our, make effort to build them. When you had that huge, like, castle wall thing, and we had, we were afraid of the mobs back then, so we would make these, like, took forever. We made these big sky walkways to get from, like, our major creations to one. So, like, yours had lava over it. I came up with this idea of having, like, a lava roof to light over the path. And then I had, like, a brick one, and then we had a couple other
each
people.
pathway was different. And
Right, we had, like, 3 or 4 people on the server at the time, and so we would have, like, each one of us had our own sort of theme. We had, another guy that we had on there, he had, like, his stuff was all, like, just all dark, goth, like, fire and...
You had the modern skywalk look. I had the, ooh, look, futuristic and a lava band for light. With
right,
all the
and then,
glass.
yeah, and then he had all this, like, nether rock and...
Yep, the goth, fiery walkway of death.
Yeah. I kind of miss that. I kind of miss seeing some of those structures that we don't have here anymore.
Yeah, that's just one of those things you just kind of work it in there somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, this started originally as just what was going to be a mob trap. It was like, oh, the mobs all come in and they'll flow down this fountainous, or well, actually, if you go to the back stairs, you can see the underside of the interior.
Oh yeah, I was gonna hit that eventually. Oh, you know what? You can't get in this door. Can you?
Come around the backside.
Because you have the stair there, and yeah, you can't get in that particular
yes, they're
door.
exits. Come around.
So, well, I know, but here, just while I'm here, we got this cool little area to look down. These balconies you just added, I think, today.
Yeah, they used to be pathways to lead to the middle, because the idea was it started out as this was going to be a fort that had collective resources. Like, oh, there were all the lava in the middle was supposed to be like, well, lava, it's just right here, so you don't have to go find it. And it was like the storage, like that was some status wealth thing of whoever this fort was for.
Yeah.
And then it was like little, in the corners were little water sources that you could collect your water from.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because it was essentially a giant basin underneath it that was supposed to collect mobs and grind them, which never worked. because that was the second stage of this.
Oh yes, your mob farm and then your
Yes, because it
tree
started out a
farm and
square, then it was kind of before I really knew what octagon shape was. I kind of had this attempt that didn't work out well, and then I decided to make a round the bottom so it was spherical. And I was like, well, if I'm going to make the bottom spherical, let's make the top spherical. And then I started covering it with, was it water originally, and then lava?
yeah, you did it. You did it water originally, if
Yeah.
I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was originally water, so it was like this giant ball of water. Then I decided to go with lava.
And I thought lava was much cooler.
Yeah.
The other thing with like the older versions, like I like everything that's here right now, but the one thing that I sort of missed that was in the original, especially the original version of the server,
Mm-hmm.
is I kind of miss having this ball being in the open more. So you could just be out somewhere and you would just see this ginormous glowing ball of lava.
Yes, wandering the land and you see a glowing ball of lava.
Yeah, it's just ginormous. I mean, it's a huge ball. I mean, the dimensions of it are big.
Well, you can still see it from the outside and from the interior there, just how big it is.
Well, no, you can, but I mean, you have all the structure around it now. But I kind of miss just being able to like go out on the landscape somewhere and just see this glowing ball.
Well, the original plan was you weren't going to be able to because it was going to be within a courtyard wall system, so it was going to wall off anyway.
Well, that's true.
I just never finished that wall.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because it was a pain in the ass of the old days of fences when you had to actually have something under it and build them top down. You couldn't stack fences. You had to build them top down.
Yes, I remember that. That was, and then you had all these weird issues with gates, and you had to like make it. You had to like fake things and switch it. Like, oh yeah, I don't miss that at all. Thank God they fixed that.
Yes, yes.
I love these stairs though. This was a cool idea. These sandstone stairs.
Sandstone stairs.
Yeah, the ones that are like like right by on either side.
Oh,
of
the corner.
The corner, yeah. I love those. I can get down there from there, right? I can just go down there.
Yeah, that staircase should take you all the way down to the underside of the exterior.
Yeah, of the sphere. So, I don't know. I like the cool look, especially when you're going down. Like going up, it looks cool, but I think when you're going down, it just has this cool look to it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and this used to be just a giant hole.
The ball of death.
Oh, hollowing this out was so frustrating because it's like you spring a leak, it spreads lava everywhere.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And trying to plug the holes because it started out as regular stone, so it was like I didn't know where the exterior dimensions of my lava ball were. I was kind of guessing. Oh, sprung a leak. Oh crap.
Well, and the other thing with that was, like I said, we were not playing in creative mode, and so. You could still. The problem is you were carrying all your resources and you're walking around. You get a leak and it's like, oh fuck me, I can actually die.
Yeah.
And then you lose all your resources and it's like, oh.
And
all
the thing, this is actually an exterior shell around the original shell.
Right.
Because the interior where the water is flowing is the original shell. This was actually a layer on top of that to get the lava to flow outside of this.
Okay.
Which was an even further effort of, okay, how do I do this so that the lava will all flow down around it?
Oh, like I said, I mean, that's one thing, like, I've helped you on, quite a few of your projects, but this is one I'm glad that I never really... Oh, I probably would have just gotten so mad, because knowing me, like I said, I would be building, and I would just make a hole, and I would kill myself with, like, a full inventory of stuff.
Yeah, it was fraught with frustrations, but... this was one of the original projects, which is why it's so expansive and detailed. Is it just built layer by layer?
Well, and that's why, like I said, when we first started this server, you did not have this in here, and I said, no, you have to import your lava ball because that thing is cool.
And it's been following us ever since the first iteration.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, just because it was so big, it was cool, and you had it, at least the ball part, finished.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, no, you have to.
Yeah, because it was the fort, which had the basin underneath, and then the interior kind of sandstone place that you can go check out in a little bit. And then I built the shell on top of that. And then it was like, well, I started hollowing out the underside of the shell, and that was forever.
Mm-hmm.
And because at the same time I was working on building a shell over it of this building where the rooftop is the original form of that, but had to be expanded when I realized the dimensions were slightly off to make a perfect octagon, because I didn't know how to make equilateral octagons yet. I
Yeah.
was guessing, and they were off.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I was going for arches, but it just didn't quite work, and it
Hmm.
was the early days of knowing what I was doing.
So yeah, I mean you know the other thing that I like is not only is it a sphere of lava, but like you can see it from the outside, but then you can just like walk around in it, and it's so huge that you can like, oh yeah, I just have this little kind of actual building in here because the thing is so freaking huge.
Yep, and the building came first. The lava ball surrounded it.
Right. But yeah, I'm just going downstairs now where you got this water thing.
Yeah, it's the little fountain on the inside.
Uh huh.
Yeah, because the flowing water on the inside is the remnants of the original basin attempt, which was
Yeah.
supposed to be a mob trap that didn't work.
Okay. But yeah, no, I'm curious to see. Like, are you planning on changing this
No,
interior much, or not really?
this
Or
is pretty much what it is.
okay. I didn't know if you were thinking about changing the interior of the
My
ball
projects
much, or
get tweaked as new things come along, but I don't really change much once it's settled.
okay.
Unless something significant changes and I can improve an idea.
Right.
Because as I said, this was originally the building. This whole center area was,
Yeah.
there was a living space under the floor, and up was just kind of this cool, like, fort thing, which expanded into a throne room,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm rather proud of.
Yeah. Where is that? The throne
Up
room.
the stairs. Just keep
Uh,
going up the stairs.
Is there more stairs?
Yeah, there's
Oh,
stairs.
yeah. Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we gotta go up, because the throne room was badass, I thought, when we did it. Yeah, this was cool. I forgot all about this.
Hmm.
Yeah,
The style has been tweaked, but the
I always loved
building
this.
structure is always kind of, the essence of it has remained the same.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've got these, like, realistic buildings and stuff, but I keep coming back to it's like, God, just even, like, the walls and just overall, like, architectural structure, it just,
Yeah.
it annoys me, because mine is, like, just so terrible.
But it's all little
It's so
things that just
compare-
built on top of other little things that built on top of other things, and it always.
Oh, I know, I realize that, but it's like, man, like, my stuff sucks.
But that's just it. Is this all sucked originally? Just little details added on top of little details, and all of a sudden, like, I look up and like, oh, that's sweet. I like how that worked, and I didn't even intend to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you just have so many layers upon layers of stuff.
But that's how all my
And-
stuff works. Is it's kind
Yeah.
of evolution of layers.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, it just, like, for mine, it's like, I look at what I'm doing, I'm like, oh, I'm all proud of it, and then you're like, oh, you should take a look at this thing I built. Oh, fuck, not again.
Oh, gee, it looks like my thing
But-
needs repair.
Yeah, no, I always thought this throne room was really cool. A lot of colors,
Yep.
a lot of transparency, you know, a lot of kind of, you can see out a little bit, but with the glass floor here. But yeah, really cool looking.
And then the sides were like kind of gated, so people could come rushing in here if they needed to for security.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
everything had like a principle behind the choices. Like, oh, these were some security could come rushing in and protect the throne room. There were seating around the back side here.
Oh, okay.
You know, everything has a purpose or at least an intent behind it when I create it. It's just the
Right.
layers upon layers make it so intricate because, it starts out simple. It always starts out simple.
Yeah.
Just a little room, a little goal, and it just starts expanding and
Yeah, exactly.
modifying.
No, but I mean, just like I said, I mean, even this throne room is not that small. It's not that small, but it's just to think that all this is in this ginormous lava ball
Mm-hmm.
is kind of cool.
Yeah, and the throne room came first, the lava ball built around it. And it
Right.
just so happened to be the right dimensions that, it happened to work. Well, sweet.
Uh-huh.
Because it was like, what am I going to do with this space? Because I can't put too many chairs in here. It gets cramped too quickly.
Right. Alrighty.
But yes, even then I had the obsession with water and flowing liquids. Because that was the thing. It was
Yeah.
like you were in the middle of a desert when I started this, and so it was like, oh, it's an oasis building.
Okay.
That was a mob trap. Well, the mob trap didn't work, so I just built into a fountain. Well,
Right.
that fountain didn't quite work either, and it became a ball and a throne room,
Yeah.
and now it's a, you know, epic throne castle almost built into the ground, hidden away.
All right. So that wraps up pretty much everything in this ball, I think, doesn't it?
Except for maybe the exterior walls here, which are lava running behind water.
Oh yeah, yeah. Originally, this used to be sandstone, and then you
Well,
had done.
they were supposed to be sandstone arches, and then like diamond patterns to kind of like it was some sort of incense burner or something like that was the concept was going to encase this giant ball of lava.
Right.
And then I expanded the walls a little bit, and I just expanded on the idea and changed them.
Well,
And
yeah, and then you came up with this cool floor pattern just the other day, which I thought was I like the floor pattern, especially with these. I really like these new blocks, these beacon blocks. They just
yeah, because originally it was glass, like you could look down and see the underside of the ball.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
didn't work. It just it didn't feel right.
yeah. And then like I said, you built that, and I'm like, well, the outer walls don't quite mesh with the middle, and then you came up with this idea just yesterday of this mossy cobblestone and other stuff.
Netherrock brick.
Yeah, and it works. It works pretty cool actually.
Mm-hmm.
So not too shabby at all.
Little command block to teleport you out.
Yep, pop out there, and here we are back in our main entrance. So there's our old spawn. So we'll just walk out here. And I think I'll just walk out into our stadium, as it were.
You keep calling it a stadium, but it's a spawn building.
Well, it is a spawning stadium then.
Fine.
But anyway,
Oh, I like these stairs.
I
Turned
do
out
too.
so well.
They do actually. I really
The-
like.
And it was I
glowstone,
couldn't do it this way because they didn't have they didn't have netherrock half
half
slabs.
slabs. Yeah, I remember. What were they before? Because I forget. Because you couldn't do it that way before.
I had an alternating pattern of
I think it was
stone
stone.
slabs and netherrock.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was stone slabs. Yeah.
But this is what I originally wanted, but I couldn't
Right.
do.
Right. Well, yeah, and I think it works better because it just goes out from the spiral better.
Yep. And that's kind of how everything works for me. Is it starts as a simple idea and then it iterates further and further and becomes more and more intricate and complicated.
Yeah.
So it never starts this big. This stadium is about the only thing that ever started big,
Yeah. Yeah.
just because it had to compete with the big things and the server.
Oh. Well, thankfully we were done with the look, and I guess that's not the optimal way to end a series of videos. But yeah, since kind of a fairly frequent update to Servercraft, it's been a little janky lately.
Yeah, some maintenance and it hasn't worked the same.
But yeah, crashing aside, that has been kind of a look at some of Jawbreaker. That's some of his creations. Like I said, we're primarily the two people that play on this server. We're kind of keeping it going and whatever. We've had a couple people in the past, but pretty much just us playing right now. But I wanted to show my skyscraper city kind of thing, and I already uploaded the castle town, but I'm like, no, I have to include this just because we have all these cool structures on the server. And so I wanted to record that, and I figured I'd try my luck at a multiple person commentary with Skype and see if that completely broke or if I could actually do it properly. But
And just remember, do not let oversized, massively cool things intimidate you. It always started simple. Everyone starts with the simple little dorky buildings that they're embarrassed of by the time they get the hang of scaling to the Minecraft reality.
well, definitely. I mean, like I said, mine has a different, mine in a way has a different sense of scale because I have a whole bunch of littler things. Like my castle town is just, it started out as this little castle thing because that's really what I wanted to build when I first started Minecraft. I liked it, and then I had this big old plot of land. Well, actually, more technically, I had a big old plot of land and one hell of a gaping quarry that I had to figure out what to do with, and then it just kind of became this castle village thing, and then I had a farmstead, and yeah, I mean, like I said, it may not be quite as intricate, but you know, it is still its big. It's a big project on its own, and yeah, it's just
Yes.
if you wanna just start small, and before you know it, six
Yeah.
months later, God only knows what you'll have.
Exactly. Every Minecraft player always starts with the simple little basic stuff. They, like, oh, this is amazing and cool, and yeah, before you know it, you are building the epic grand staircase to your castle in the sky.
Yeah.
And you'd never think you were going to build that when you started. Like, you go back to your old building, it's like, well, this is tiny and pathetic. I don't know how
Oh
I ever
yeah.
lived in
Well,
this.
I remember I was so proud because I hollowed out that I had that my what did I call it, my supply cave or whatever,
Yes,
and
yes.
I tunneled down there and I made these rooms that would just just a simple like a
Oh,
pattern with
yes,
some
yes, your
stairs.
first rooms.
My
I
first
remember.
rooms, and they were just like open squares, and some of them might happen to have stairs or a half slab here and there. And then I had these like really simple like wooden apartment things down on under subterranean apartments. And I was like, "This is awesome! This is great!" And I was like, "Oh, dude, this sucks! No, I don't even care anymore."
Yeah, everyone starts there, though. That's how every
Exactly,
Minecraft player has
exactly.
ever started.
And that's why like I wish we still had some of Foo's stuff on there because
We still have the lighthouse. He's on the outside of your harbor.
yeah, I need to tweak that a little bit because it's a little bit it didn't quite import right, and so some of it's a little bit overrun. But yeah, that. But he had a really cool kind of dock area, and he had a pretty good thing going too before he left our server.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Some of the stuff was I'd kind of assisted him to kind of help tweak it along, but he really had a good exterior sense.
yeah, he had a really good build design too, and that's why, like I said, I'm kind of sad that we don't have at least a couple more players on our server because I part of the fun at Minecraft is you get into kind of a rut of you building a certain way, and then you look at someone else's stuff and go, yeah, but if I did it this way, and then you start out with your own crazy projects, and it really works well when you kind of work off of things like that.
And don't feel intimidated by seeing someone else's stuff because your stuff could actually be quite cool. You just don't realize it, no matter how much they tell you.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Because I
And
told Fu like this is amazing, and he just never believed me.
oh, I told him that too. I said, dude, this is great. I didn't even because some of it like the thing I remember was when he had the like in his original building and he had those walls that kind of were kind of indented
Uh huh.
in his rooms there. I'm like, I didn't even think of doing something like that. And now I've done that like in my courthouse and stuff.
Yep.
And so yeah, no, I mean it was really good.
Yeah. Draw inspiration. Don't be intimidated.
Yeah, I mean like I said,
That's my suggestion.
yeah, I just still give Chris shit because I can, and and like I said, it's just huge, but huge projects. But no, like I said, I'm proud of my stuff in my own right too. So with that, this video is getting a little long, so I think we'll wrap it up here. Thanks a lot for letting me actually record this. I don't know when I'm going to upload it. I've already got a few videos sort of in my queue of what I sort of want to upload. So it'll probably go up here at some point in the fairly near future.
Mm-hmm.
So, alright, well, thanks a lot, and
Sure.
we'll talk to you guys next time.